I got the call at 3:05 and immediately jumped in the car. We're worried about a lot of things every day at camp. This was not one that we expected.
It was 12-year-old Bonnie Sanders Burney's first time at Camp Cheerio, and she couldn't wait to ride the zipline.
We were fully staffed on this day. We had our most experienced operator on the platform that actually clipped Sanders into her harness.
It's a ride YMCA of High Point President David Ozmore says has had thousands of successful runs, but this time would be its last.
Sanders and her friend went down the zip line holding hands. The most innocent of scenarios you can possibly imagine.
Sanders made it about 200 feet when the tether holding her to the zip line snapped. She fell nearly 2 stories to the ground. Emergency medics couldn't save her.
I can't imagine the grief that that family's going through right now.
Sanders' untimely death stunned her hometown. Hundreds asking, how did this happen?
What we believe happened is that the tether was somehow draped over the second line.
Now, the zip line at Camp Cheerio is actually a dual zip line, meaning there's 2 lines that start from a single point. We set this up just as an example. Now, Ozmore says what he believes happened is somehow Sanders' tether got wrapped around the second line. So as she started to make her zip, the friction burnt through that tether until it snapped.
The tether's rated at 7,000 pounds. You could put your car on that zip line and it would successfully make it to the other end. But the way that that tether touched that second cable, the friction was just so severe, the tether melted.
How common are these split zip lines where they start off from one point?
I think this is a highly unique design.
Too unique to be safe? WNCN Investigates is working to find out. Interquest, the company who installed and inspected the zip line, says it's part of the investigation. But either way, it's raising questions.
The industry needs to take a hard look at itself.
I designed this as an easy way
Ken Jaco has designed and built zipline and high ropes courses for years.
Are zip lines safe?
Yes, I would say so. I would say if you compare that to most of the other activities that we're comfortable with, from driving in cars to school athletics.
It's an industry that's not regulated by our state. In fact, there's a specific exemption for zip lines. Instead, the Association for Challenge Course Technology, or ACCT, has been writing the unofficial rulebook. Since 1993, they've gathered and set nationwide standards, along with issuing training and inspection certifications.
The industry itself has done a very good job in North Carolina in self-regulating. The challenge within that is how is that enforced?
And in our state, it's not, which means before you zip, ask questions.
What are some of the other things people can ask their instructor while they're out?
Well, I think trying to understand more about their facility, how they manage that, what types of inspections that they're doing, how they're trained.
Overall, zipline accidents are very rare. The problem is there's no official count.
Is there any organization who is keeping track of the number of injuries, the number of accidents that happen on zipline courses?
Not really, and that's a little bit of a gap I feel right now. I do think that information is really important. Somebody really needs to start paying attention and gathering that information.
As a community, we need to have a conversation about regulation and who is watching over zip lines.
We took the issue to lawmakers.
Even with regulation, you think about all the things that we have that are regulated. Unfortunately, sometimes accidents happen. Talking with stakeholders to see if there are some deficiencies right now, it's probably worth doing.
I don't want anyone to go through what the Burneys have been through or what Camp Cheerio has been through.
As for Camp Cheerio, Ozmore says he doesn't know if zip lines will be a part of the YMCA's future. He says he doesn't want an activity or an accident to define this camp, but he does want to see a conversation started in our state, whether any industry changes can help prevent an accident like this from happening to any other family. We're at Camp Cheerio. Jonathan Rodriguez, WNCN News.